Okay.
So your head center up here, which is the top triangle,
Mm-hmm.
is and your ajna, which is the bottom triangle, is for inspiration and conceptualization. So this creates a consistent mental pressure to ask and answer questions or grasp and understand things. This can create a heightened mental anxiety, however, you become inspiring to others. And you have a very fixed way of thinking. And because you have the 63-4, it's a more logical way of thinking.
Does that mean
So
I'm
you're always like,
hard-headed? Was that like code for I'm hard-headed? Because I think that's accurate AF.
No comment.
yeah, I don't know so much about hard-headed, but yeah, like you have a fixed way of thinking. Yeah,
Okay.
you're always trying to looking at the patterns, like the logical patterns,
Oh, yes.
and you're trying to put them in a formula, like some sort of a conceptualize a formula from them.
Yeah, that's accurate.
This chart is calling out my life right now.
Yeah.
Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie, and we're back at it again for another episode of Living Life Consciously. Today, we have a special guest who is going to teach us all about something called human design. But before we get into it, I'm going to allow everybody to say hello. So, Justin.
Hey, everybody. It's Justin with Living Life Consciously. Glad to be here as always. And I'm very excited that we have Donald on as our guest. I hope you guys are looking forward to this conversation.
And I'm Leslie, your love-lit co-host, also an eternal spiritual being having a very temporary human experience. And I'm excited to be here with Donald to introduce to everyone the human design, which I am recently exploring and find fascinating, and I think you will too.
Donald?
Oh, and my name's Donald.
Hello. All right. For our audience, special guest Donald has a passion for human design and has been studying it since 2022. Since discovering it, he has dived deep into the subject and is mostly self-taught. HD has helped him make sense of his life and is here to share this intricate system and provide a bit of direction for anyone interested in learning more about it. Today, Donald will share my and Leslie's chart and teach us the ins and outs of what it means. Looking forward towards the future, Donald plans on creating a business out of HD and putting out offers to teach others about their own designs and how to live their best life according to it. Donald, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you taking your time out to teach us and everybody else about it. And just for the audience to know, previously before we got on this call, Leslie and I provided our information to Donald so that he could pull up our own specific charts. So we got those to look into, and we're going to get into that right now. Thank you, Donald. Where'd you like to begin?
I'd just like to begin with briefly talking about what human design is and where it originates. So the human design system was founded by a gentleman called Ra Uru Hu, and it's basically the science of differentiation. So the this and that of the Maya, or the world we live in today. Human design uses the I Ching, astrology, the Kabbalah, and the quantum physics, as well as the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. And it basically puts it all together and gives you a good aspect of who you are and the energy you represent on the planet.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what information does somebody need to provide to you for you to be able to give them their human design?
Good question.
Okay, so much like much like a natal chart, you need your birthday, your birthplace, and your birth time as close as possible. So I know that's hard to find sometimes. So you can go to your hospital. Sometimes they keep the birth records up to 20 years or so if you don't have it recorded on your birth certificate, or sometimes your parents wrote it in your baby book if you have one of those too.
Yeah,
Okay.
very interesting. It's funny because some people know their birth time and all that kind of stuff, and then some people don't. For me, when I was growing up, my dad was a huge lotto player, and he always played me and my brother's numbers, like the time we were born, the date we were born, how many inches long we were, like the whole spiel. So for me, I grew up with those numbers like
Yeah.
ingrained in my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Uh-huh. So can you tell everybody how a human design chart is similar to or different from a birth chart? Like you mentioned the natal chart, or how are they comparable?
Question.
Yeah, so the human design chart gives you a body graph, so it's a little bit easier to read than a natal chart. The human design system also gives you the earth placement, which is something that I believe in astrology they don't really factor in. I'm not an astrologer by any means, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's they're pretty similar, but it also gives you the unconscious portion, which I don't believe you find in astrology.
The
So
unconscious
astrology tells
portion.
you, yeah, because human design is a quantum of your unconscious self and your conscious self. So stuff you're aware of and stuff you're not aware of that just kind of happens in the background.
Okay.
Seems like
So when we
very
talk
useful
about
information.
Yes.
yeah,
So yeah, I pretty much did a good study today, and I feel like I have a good understanding more so than what I did before today.
So Leslie did her homework, is what she's saying.
Like diving deep into it, just because of finding out that I'm a projector. I'm a little like that fascinates me because it's like a whole different thing, which I feel like I'm a different kind of.
Hmm.
So the awareness of what kind of human design you have has enlightened you even more to your own self.
Yes.
See, I haven't dove
Yeah.
that deep into it. I'm not even gonna front and pretend like I did. Leslie's got a whole book full of notes. I just know like that much about it. So I'm gonna be sitting back kind of quiet, just learning today.
So Donald, what got you into human design? Where did you first learn about this, and what interested you in human design?
What really what kind of spooked me out and shocked me in the beginning, because I was like, wow, yeah, this is exactly who I am. There was a lot of things that I was like, oh yeah, I have an open throat, so it was acting and trying to be the star of the show, and I have also an open heart center, so it really rolled me in with the not self.
Mm.
So the not self is like all your openness is where your mind kind of comes through and starts telling you, oh, you should do this or you should do that. It's a place of learning. So your design side is basically who you are, and sorry, not your design side. Your personality and design is basically who you are. Whatever's colored in is who you are, and everything else is kind of where you're learning.
Mm.
So we have access to all the energies, and we'll be hit through the neutrino field throughout our entire lives, and also impacted by other people we meet and conditioned. And yeah, it's just knowing where you're conditioned is really handy in discovering like what's going on with your life, and kind of clearing up all the gunk we've held on to for so long.
Mm.
So how did you first hear about it? Because I didn't hear about it until we did the interview with Dr. Lisa Thompson, and I was like, tell me about what that is. I had never heard of it till literally
Yeah.
like maybe a couple weeks ago. So how did it come? How did it drop into your awareness?
It dropped into my awareness during like a spiritual awakening, and then I kind of started seeking. And yeah, the system, another projector told me about it, but he doesn't really follow the system. He just kind of told me about it, and it was quite overwhelming because it's very mental. There's a lot of information in the system, but um, the basic information helps you kind of navigate your life while you're learning about the rest of it, if you choose to continue going deep. But just having the basic strategy and authority, and what's your inner authority to making decisions in life, really reduces a lot of the stress.
Mm.
To go with the grain instead of against it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that fits for that or not.
Yeah, that
but,
was good.
Okay, so the neutrinos come from the sun. Is it basically our
Yep.
star, sun, and but so this makes me think of all the solar activity and the what the Earth's going through right now, and like so like would you think that basically there's like a correlation with the upgrades and everything? It's the I mean, I guess it is because it's not like it's a reading of your body. It's not like I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah. So basically, I'm tying it fully into like I'm like fully bought in, like I'm seeing how like everything. I don't know. I
Is
feel like
connected.
Leslie's mind is getting blown right now.
I need to let Donald do his presentation. I'm sure he's ready to go. Let's hear it, Donald.
Oh, the presentation on your body graphs, or just I'd like to show the body graph if that's all right.
Perfect.
Sure, if you want to
Yeah.
share your screen, go ahead. All right, so we got the chart pulled up. I could see it. Let us know when you're ready to dive
right.
into this. Tell us what we're looking at here,
Sure.
man. I see some red stuff,
Right.
some red boxes, some black boxes, a human in the middle with a bunch of lines and conjunction points. Tell me like I have zero clue what this is, please. Thank you so much.
Yes, please
Yes, of
explain
course.
it for me.
Okay, so everything that's colored in the body graph, like these are the centers, head, and the ajna, and these are gates, and these are channels when two gates meet between
Okay.
two centers. It's called a channel. So it defines each of the squares or the triangles and stuff, and these are all considered centers. So basically, everything that's defined in your chart is your nature, and everything that's white or not filled in is your nurture, or where you're here to learn. On the black side, it's your conscious personality side is what you're conscious of, like your own energy, and then the red side is your design side, so stuff you may not be aware of that just kind of happens in your life.
Okay.
So between the two, you get a body graph, and this just happens to be your body graph, Allie.
Oh, okay.
And because you have the red square in the center highlighted, it makes you a generator.
And what does that mean?
A red square in the center?
Right
What
here.
is that?
Generator,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the red square in the center is the Sacral Center,
Okay.
and that's what makes you a generator, because you have the 3410, gate 34 connected to gate 10, and also you have the gate 52 connected to 9. So this is what highlights the center. And what a generator is they're a type that's here to do the work that they love and love the work that they do. And your gift in life is to master a task, project, or skill. The generator has a specific aura, which is open and enveloping. So everyone around you kind of feels your energy, and they want that creative life force energy in their life. So
Cool.
what your strategy, right?
Uh-huh.
Good energy, Allie.
Yeah.
I can't help it. What can I say? I'm designed that way. Hey.
Right. So basically, your energy is designed to attract the people and things to you,
Okay.
so that you can respond to them. So your strategy is to wait to respond, and to notice kind of what you're responding to. Like the sacral makes kind of noises, and this kind of gets into your authority, which is the sacral authority. So if you, I don't know, if you see something interesting on the TV, you might go, mm-hmm. Or if somebody asks you, do you want to have burgers tonight for dinner? You might be like, get this, mm-hmm. Or you might get a mm-mm, which is like a no kind of sacral noises. We typically condition children out of making these noises because it's rude,
Okay.
but it's really like listening to your inner body and guidance system. So Allie, for you, it's all about what noises is your body making when you're responding to things.
I need to pay more attention to that. Leslie just made a noise responding to that. So that was synchronicity.
Very observant, Allie.
Yeah.
The signature theme of a generator is satisfaction. So feeling satisfied doing what you love to do, right? And the not self theme is frustration. So these can also be used as like signposts to tell you if you're going in the right direction or the wrong direction in life. So if you're feeling frustrated because you agreed to do something for your friend, then you know it was probably your sacral was probably saying, no, no, don't agree to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
So earlier you said that you mentioned something about waiting to respond. And when you said
Mhm.
that, it made me realize and reflect upon how often I respond to something like with the quickness rather than taking my time to digest it and then give an answer that I'm actually like, that I've actually mulled over in my brain and feel comfortable with. So I feel like I should probably do that more often. Like this, I guess this is where the human design chart comes into play with helping people live their best life. Because if you can understand this kind of stuff about yourself, then you can operate in such a way that goes with your design plan rather than against it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Like, so if you know that, if you have a response to something, then you got to kind of honor that response and not let your mind talk you into doing it anyways, because that's just going to lead you to a road of frustration, right?
I could reflect upon that happening many times before.
Yeah. So this is the not self. This is what they talk about in human design as being the not self when you're acting from a place of like that's going to eventually bring you to frustration
What does the not
for
self mean?
generators. Yeah. The not self is like not who you are. So as I said before, everything that's colored in is who you are. And
Okay.
everything that's kind of white is where you're learning, or it's not really who you are, right? But you gain experience and wisdom in those areas.
Okay.
Like
So
maybe
So
that's where your lessons are all like embedded in those areas.
So is this like the human design chart version of like our soul contracts? Like, is this a soul contract in human chart form? Do you know about soul contracts, and is that relevant here, or am I tripping?
I'm not sure what exactly is a soul contract.
So a soul contract, from my understanding, I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru, just hear me out. A soul contract is basically before you incarnate here, when you're in spirit form.
Blueprint as well.
Mhm.
That could be another.
Right.
Or
Exactly. So before you incarnate here, when you're hanging out in your ethereal spirit form and you got your spirit guides and God around you, right? You go, okay, so when I jump into Earth this time, I want to learn trust. I want to learn this. I want to learn how to be financially stable. I want, so you set out the lessons that you're here to learn. And it, like Leslie said, it acts as like a blueprint or like a template. It's not something that affects your everyday, like, because you still have free will, of course, but it's like your pre-plan for what your soul is supposed to learn and experience while here. So I'm wondering if that lends at all to this, or if I'm trying to draw too long of a line.
No, that makes total sense. Yeah, because all your openness attracts other people that will fill that openness. So that's how you kind of learn your lessons in life. So yeah, it is kind of like you're setting yourself up to attract what you're not, to kind of like learn the wisdom from that.
Okay.
so yeah, increases the chances of you coming to a crossroad or a fork where you might have one of these instances that might be in your soul contract or blueprint.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'll just talk about your centers. They're also called like your strengths.
Okay.
So your head center up here, which is the top triangle,
Mm-hmm.
is and your ajna, which is the bottom triangle, is for inspiration and conceptualization. So this creates a consistent mental pressure to ask and answer questions or grasp and understand things. This can create a heightened mental anxiety, however, you become inspiring to others. And you have a very fixed way of thinking. And because you have the 63-4, it's a more logical way of thinking.
Does that mean
So
I'm
you're always like,
hard-headed? Was that like code for I'm hard-headed? Because I think that's accurate AF.
No comment.
Yeah, I don't know so much about hard-headed, but yeah, like you have a fixed way of thinking. Yeah,
Okay.
you're always trying to looking at the patterns, like the logical patterns,
Oh, yes.
and you're trying to put them in a formula, like some sort of a conceptualize a formula from them.
Yeah,
This-
that's accurate.
This chart is
That's
calling
it.
out my life right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like having a bit of a busy mind,
Mm.
right? Because the 63 is all about doubting the patterns. So you're doubting things, and then you're trying to and then you're conscious of your doubt because it's black, and then your unconscious is over time just kind of letting that flow through you and become a some sort of a formula of the truth, right?
Mm.
Or like your
Okay.
truth, actually.
Okay.
And that's why they say it's fixed, because it's your truth, and then you kind of bring that truth out to other people, and it conditions them or it doesn't, right? They're interested in what you have to say or they're not.
Okay. Take it or leave it
That make
kind of thing.
sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then you have this square in the center that's kind of like a diamond
Mm-hmm.
is your G center. So this is all about love, identity, and direction. So you have an inner sense of who you are and where you're going in life.
Good to know.
And we kind of touched on your sacral center here. And this is just this is energy resources, and it's your ability to perform and sustain the work that you love for prolonged periods. So if you're really engaged in something you love doing, like managing your website or making videos, you can basically do it for however long, and you'll always have the energy as long as
Yep, she
your
can.
sacral's.
That's so funny that you say that, because when I get into like the editing our videos mode, I literally can go for like 10 to 11 straight hours and like
Yeah.
still feel like I have more stuff to do. Like, cause like once I'm in that mode, man, I don't know if it's like OCD or something. Sorry if I'm like self-diagnosing and if that's offensive to anybody, but like I just really get on something and stick with it. It's kind of like an obsession.
It's her
almost.
thing. She does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a generator thing?
Yeah, it's a generator thing. So generators
Okay.
are here to like be this life force energy. About 70% of the planet is generator.
70%. Okay.
Wow.
But what happened in the past, generators, we give our power away to other people because we're not listening to what our bodies want us to do and what our bodies are giving us energy for. So you can be stuck in a dead end job, working 9 to 5, and you'll have the energy to do that, but you'll be like frustrated and you won't be happy. So you kind of become a slave to other people's wants and needs from you.
Wow, you're super accurate, man.
And then you have a defined root center, and this is like your adrenaline. So this is kind of gives you an ability to perform consistently while under pressure.
Mm.
So yeah, people with an open root will always want to be free of the pressure, but the pressure from other people or themselves.
So my root is open or
Right.
closed? Forgive me. I want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, yours is filled in, so it's yeah.
And what does
It's
that mean?
defined. Yeah.
Oh, it's defined. Okay.
It means that you're good at performing under pressure or getting rid of the stress and pressure. Like other people don't pressure you, but having a defined root means that you can also pressure other people with undefined roots. So it's kind of like that push and pull that we're all doing to each other. Yeah.
Okay.
It gets really interesting.
Yeah, I have a question that's like persisting in my brain, so I feel the need to ask it. So when we're looking at number 54 here, and okay, so in the bottom box, that circle number 50, yep, that one, number 54, it has a black line going out, but the black line is not connected to number 32. So what does it mean when the lines connect like it does up at the top with 63 and 4, but then when it doesn't down at the bottom, like with 54 and 32?
Oh, so this means you have a hanging gate 54. 54 is the gate of drive. So it's like you're driven to do like make more of yourself.
Okay, so a hanging gate versus a closed gate, or what is
Yeah.
63
So-
and 4 described as?
Sorry, the 63.
63 and 4. You see,
So
yeah.
that's yeah. So when you have two gates that connect,
Uh-huh.
they define the center. So this is kind of, you can see this as like an energy flow from the 63 to the 4.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get to your 11 beneath it,
Yeah, it doesn't
there's
connect.
no 56.
Right.
Yeah. So then,
Oh,
So
that's
because
why that
nothing
one's not
connects, no,
colored in. Okay.
yeah. So that's why your throat's not colored in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was going to talk about your open centers next.
Sure.
Or these can also be like where you get pulled off track, and it's where we learn all of our wisdom over the course of our lifetime.
Okay.
All right, so your heart center, this is one of the major ones for most people. 70% of people have this, or well, 65 to 70% have this undefined. And this is a feeling like you have something to prove to yourself or others, and making commitments and not following through on them. So this is where your strategy and authority really kicks in when you're making commitments to people. That makes sense?
I'm processing. I'm trying to figure out what that means, to be honest.
Okay. Like it's this it's a will, it's like the will center, the ego. It's like, I will do this, and then you may not actually do that. Or someone might ask you for your help, and then you may not follow through on that help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have this too.
Okay. Are you a generator also? Because I noticed that you said we earlier when you mentioned generators.
Yes, I'm a generator too.
Okay, but Leslie is something special. She's the one that's only like 20% of the population, right?
It might be 30, huh?
Well,
Okay.
yeah. I'm willing to help anyone in Discord if they trying to understand their own charts and their strategy and authority and stuff like that.
Okay, good to know. So if you're watching this and you pull up your own chart and you don't know what you're looking at, kind of like me, you could just hit up Donald and ask him whatever questions you have, and he'd be more than happy to assist you in figuring that out.
Thank you for that, Donald.
Yes, that's very sweet
Okay.
and
Yeah, no
considerate.
problem.
So I'm sure you'll be hearing from Justin because he hasn't looked his up yet, so he'll have questions.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's the heart.
And then
So that's the heart center, the triangle one.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, it's actually only got 4 channels going to it, which is why it's mostly undefined. And having a defined head and ajna is kind of rare as well. Only 30% of people have this as well.
Oh.
Say you have a lot
That's
going
why I
on.
said, like,
I do
yeah,
all the time, forever and ever.
it's
It
a
never
busy mind,
stops.
isn't it?
Yes, that's why when I was when I started doing yoga, and specifically yin yoga, and that led me to learning meditation, it took me a long time to figure out, the whole mental chatter thing, because it's like there's a lot going on at all times. There's like 30 million different conversations happening simultaneously. So for me to try to quiet that all down was really a chore.
Yeah.
I'm more of a box
No,
kind of guy.
I have this as well.
You what?
I have my ajna and my head defined as well.
Oh, so you can
Yeah,
relate.
I can-
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
But I
Okay.
have mine in the 64-47. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So mine's all about, yours is all about looking towards the future and finding logic to go forward with.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's all about looking at the past.
Oh, okay.
So it's all about confusion and coming to clarity. So I have a lot of confusion going up in my mind.
Okay.
But it's, it's fun. It's like making sense of all the past experiences that have happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's always chewing on, oh, this happened
Mm-hmm.
and that happened. Okay, so I just flip back to your design.
Okay.
The next center I want to talk about is your spleen, which is over here on the left-hand side.
Okay.
You have an open spleen, and spleen is all about your intuition, instincts, and survival, and it's an awareness center. So it's kind of in on the caring side of the body graph. And it's all about, let's see. Oh, yeah, so it's about holding on, like when it's open, it's about holding on to things that are no longer good for you. So this could be anything from being a hoarder to holding on to experiences, um, stuff like that.
Okay.
Any of that resonate?
Maybe.
It's your personal stuff, so you don't have to get into it.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And then,
Like I said earlier,
then
this chart's calling out my life. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just to give people an idea of like what they're looking at and how really like I could go a lot deeper, but I'm not going to because this is kind of like open for the public, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. We're just getting a very brief overview and scratch of the surface.
That's right. And then on the other side, you have an open solar plexus, which is all about fear of confronting people and the truth of situations. And this is all on the experiential side of the body graph. So it's all about the human experience and feelings and stuff like that. But what you gain from this is learning. So what happens is people with the 50% have it undefined and 50% of people have it defined. So the people who are defined and they're running around being all emotional around you, you're going to feel that kind of like ×2 when they're like that.
Yeah.
So then you're going to get called the emotional one, even though that's not true at all. You're just kind of doing the whole empath thing and feeling their emotions kind of 2 times.
Again, accurate AF. Dang, Donald, are you a psychic too? Because like, man, yeah.
Well, that's what really got me into human design. I'm like, how accurate is this? And Raw kind of tricks people by saying like, oh, just experiment with the system. But as soon as you start to experiment, you're like, how does it know?
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's kind of like creepy in that way. And your last open center is your throat center, and it's totally open. So you may not even be aware of
there's
this,
nothing
but
connected to that. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. So this is our manifestation, communication, and action center. It has like 16 gates. Or sorry, not 16. 11 gates. So it's usually defined on most people. It's kind of rare to have it undefined.
So what does an undefined throat center mean?
So it's trying to be the star or get attention.
Oh.
So when no one's speaking, there may be a pressure for you to like act out and get attention from people. And
sorry for laughing.
And,
I'm just reflecting. Go ahead. It's no disrespect to you.
No, it's okay. This stuff should be fun. Like people should have more fun with their designs and laugh a little bit more about it.
Every time you say something, I'm like pulling up 10 scenarios in my life that have happened. I'm like, yep, okay, yep, that happened.
Yeah.
What's interesting about your open throat is the pressure kind of comes within you to act and speak. It's kind of like a personal center for you. For me, it's undefined, but it's other people that kind of motivate me to speak or act.
That's interesting because sorry to cut you off, but I earned a bachelor's of science degree from the University of Florida in agricultural education and communication. And with that degree, I became an educator. So I taught in the public teaching systems in Florida for 10 years. And obviously a teacher has to act or like perform or like put on a show. And the kids in the audience are the ones that I'm doing it for. So my career lends perfectly to what you just said about that.
Right. So do you understand the body graph fairly well?
Yes.
Kinda. I'm still confused about the black line and the red line.
Oh, so the black lines you're conscious of, and the red lines is kind of like this unconscious side of yourself. So
that's
but over
right.
time, as you age, you kind of become aware that these things are happening. You're just not conscious that they're happening.
Okay.
Do the lines, so, but they don't change ever, for no matter how old you are and how long you've been living, right? They stay that color. Nothing changes, right? It's not like you're gonna turn them black or anything like that. Like,
Yeah, they're always going to stay the same red and black colors. Yeah.
Okay.
but you can.
So this is a snapshot of when you were born.
That's the whole thing, is learning how to control your own vehicle, or not control, like, yeah.
Yeah, there's no controlling it. It's just becoming a witness to what's going on. Yeah.
Is each shape a chakra, like correlated to a chakra in the body?
Yeah. So the Hindu Brahmin chakra system has 9 centers. So we kind of evolved from the 7-centered being, but there's still a lot of people that haven't caught up to that knowledge. But it's also like personal belief systems, right? So some people may only believe in the 7th chakra system, and that's okay too.
So this
Yeah,
is
well,
depicting a 9 chakra system. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Leslie.
isn't there even like some where there's even more chakras, like all throughout the body, but we have these main chakras basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I summarize what I've understood so far, just so I could feel like I'm learning something here? Is that cool?
Sure.
Okay, so the triangles and the squares and the diamonds, because it's a square turned, those are all centers. And then if they're colored in or not is if they're defined or not. And you can have a gate that connects or a gate that doesn't. And if it doesn't, it's, I think you said unhinged or hanging. You said hanging.
Oh, hanging. Yeah.
Okay. And then the on the right side, those black boxes are what you are conscious of, and then on the left side are what you are unconscious of.
That's
You're
correct.
good, Allie.
Ha! Can you tell I've been a student my whole life?
Now you're a teacher.
And so, what do the different Greek letters mean, and the number underneath that Greek letter? What does that mean?
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. I should have covered that. So first number is the hexagram. So in the I Ching, there's 64 hexagrams, and therefore there are 64 gates in this body graph.
Okay.
So each of these, like the 13 is the 13th hexagram, the 7 is the 7th hexagram, and then each hexagram has 6 lines or qualities to it. So for example, the 13.1 is the foundation of the gate of the listener. And I'm actually going to get into that too.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So on the personality side, you see how it has a 13.1 and a 7.1. So that means you're a number 1 here, which makes you an investigator. And then on the design side, you have a 0.4 and a 0.4, which is an opportunist, or someone who's kind of a networker.
Okay.
I'm just going to talk a little, and this is called your profile. So you are a 1-4 profile in human design. Yeah.
So I'm a
See, so you have
generator
this
and a
investigator.
1-4 investigative profile. Okay.
Yeah, you're an investigator opportunist.
Okay.
So your profile, Allie, is a 1-4 investigator opportunist. So you have a personal destiny. So you're kind of here in this incarnation, discovering who you are. The conscious investigator is focused on getting to the bottom of what makes things work, and the unconscious opportunist is looking for ways to get the information out. You make friends with people who will ultimately become recipients of your message. Once you're secure in a solid foundation and connect with the network, you become the network's authority. You're here to deeply grasp the foundation of whatever you're interested in and externalize it to your network. As you build your profile is basically the costume you wear in the world. So kind of how you move about the world, or like your archetype or role, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I should have covered that first.
It's okay.
That's okay.
As you build your foundation, you become an authority, moving from insecurity to security. Your creative alone time is healing and brings richness to your life. You are looking for a confidant as lasting relationships begin as friendships. You are not learning for your own sake. You're not only learning for your own sake, but also learning for those who might be attracted by the information. Investing in and maintaining your network is one of the most important things you do in life. Your investment in people bring future opportunities to express your knowledge base. Knowing which people to invest in is critical to your well-being. Investing in the wrong people is detrimental and can lead to burnout and fatigue. All of your associations need to come to you through an introduction by your network, as you are not designed to influence strangers. It's important that you never leave one thing until you have something else to take its place. If you do, you may have a hard time finding a replacement. You express, part of the line 4 is expressing the mean side when provoked, and it can come back to haunt you. So there's this meanness, niceness as well.
I'm a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah. So I think that comes from, like, if you're spending too much time in your network and you're not giving yourself enough alone time, you can kind of be mean and want to get out of the situation, right? Because keeping a network is a lot of work, right?
Yep, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I just lended everything you just said to the fact that I'm a teacher. There's that part, and then I'm also doing this whole, managing the Discord server and now doing the YouTube channel thing. So it's like, if that's not networking and sharing the information I'm gathering with other people, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And I am a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, I left that in there because I always find that funny about the line 4s. They're a bit of Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I could laugh at myself, and so can you. It's all good. Leave me a comment if you have a Sour Patch Kid in your life and how they affect your everyday goings.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I was also just going to talk about your purpose, but
Okay.
a purpose is not something you're here to do. It's just something you're here to be.
Oh,
We always think you've made that distinction in some of your videos too, like we're not being a human, being a human being, not a doing, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so we start over here in your personality sun with the 13.1. So this is the gate of the listener. And this is universal ideas and values in an ordered framework which inspire humanistic cooperation, direction or directing by looking at the past, a gift for hearing, seeing, and storing secrets. You are perceived as a confidant and a keeper of secrets. And you have the line 1, which is in empathy. So this is the ability to relate and commune with everyone equally, like with equanimity. And then this sun gate, so this makes up 70% of your design, is your personality sun and earth, and your design sun and earth. This is like 70% of your energy that you're carrying.
Okay.
And this listener is grounded in the role of the self, which is gate 7. This is the point of convergence by design, the need for leadership to guide and order society. A logical direction looking towards the future. This is a leadership role. So your role as power to condition the collective. And the line 1 here, it has a quality of being an authoritarian. So it's the iron hand that is both enlightened and tyrannical. So it says that, this is kind of like your logical leadership. Like if you were to be elected as a leader, you'd be more like telling people what to do. for
or
better
else.
or for worse.
Or else.
And then when we go on to the design side, this is one is self-expression or creativity. Creation as a primal force, energy potential to manifest inspiration without limitation, the drive and deep need to express oneself in a unique and creative way. When happily absorbed in doing your own thing, you're unaware you are attracting attention. This is also the gate of the artist. And it has a quality of aloneness. So aloneness as a medium for creativity, developing creativity outside of influence. So part of your design is about being alone in your own creative space to do what you like to do.
I'm sitting in it right now.
And then it's grounded in the gate 2, which is the direction of the self or the driver. So this is actually where the magnetic monopole sits, according to Ra Uruhu. And this is so the direction of yourself, so your direction in life. Receptivity as the primal base through which any response is determined. This is the root of action, rooted in the direction of the self towards love and beauty. An innate sense of inner direction through your mind, and directing others towards resources that they need to support their creative endeavors. And you have it in the line 4, which has got a quality of secretiveness. More than modesty, the ability to preserve harmony through direction. So that's kind of like the energy you're here to be, the core energy.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I feel like you could dive so deep. Like, this whole thing is like a huge rabbit hole for me. Like, I could see how somebody could get started into learning about this and get completely overwhelmed in, like, the best of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically all the notes I made on your chart. I didn't want to go too deep because, then we'll kind of lose the audience.
Okay, cool. So should we move on to Leslie's?
Sure.
Okay.
It's your turn, girlfriend. It's your turn.